improve life with positive thinking. And I know Deb likes to think of that positive thinking thing in slightly different terms.
I hear that word positive, and my body has a physical reaction often when people say, oh, I just want to be positive all the time, or I need to be more positive, or this, positive. And I just go, oh yeah, but the opposite. I instantly go the opposite. I go, negative. Negative. So whenever someone says positive, I go, oh, negative. My brain rewires itself to go negative. And I literally say that to myself. But what I loved about today's topic is improve life with positive thinking, is it doesn't say improving life or improved life.
Right.
Like it's just improve. It's simple.
Yes.
Debz is a stressologist. She will stretch your mindset to think bigger than you've ever thought before, with follow-through techniques that are realistic and achievable to blow any fear out of your mind. Moira is a mindset cultivator. She will help you align your personal trinity of self-trust, inner awareness, and self-confidence so that you discover and share your unique gifts and purpose. Together, their goal with these conversations is to share how our inclinations do not always work in our best interest, and to provide the knowledge to leverage the gifts that already exist within each one of us. Their desire is to help you learn how to access the habits and behaviors that will lead to positive change and your best quality of life. Welcome to your deliciously motivated mindset.
Welcome, dear listeners. Welcome, dear Deb. How are you today?
Welcome. I'm great. I'm great on this fabulous day.
Fabulous day. And here we are with another one of our exciting, awesome, auspicious conversations to help with our deliciously motivated mindset. And deliciously motivated mindset with dear Deb. That's Deb over there.
Me, hi. As I wave, I don't know why I'm waving, but in case anyone can see me through the podcast.
And me, that's Moira.
Who doesn't wave?
Who I don't wave, but you can feel my heart energy, I'm sure.
Definitely.
So we have a really good conversation coming today. I'm actually really looking forward to our conversation today. I always look forward to our conversations. But before we get into our topic for today, we like to rate ourselves. And we rate ourselves on a scale of 0 to 10, 10 being chaotic, stuck, feeling like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. Wondering if you've got the tools and the wherewithal to get through whatever it is you're in. And then all the way down to 0. 0 is like pieced out, calm.
Oh, just when you
said
0, I could feel it going.
Yes, Zen. 0 for Zen. And the truth is, we all move up and down this scale. This is just a technique to develop awareness and have some sense of compassion for wherever you are at and whatever's going on. And I also encourage people to check in on what we talk about as the PEMS, the PEMS. So that is your physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. So how's your body? How are you feeling emotionally? How's your head, your chit chat in your mind going? And how is your connection to greater power, source energy? And just check in. And so we're going to check in now. And then at the halfway point, we have a wee halfway point, and you can maybe just check in with yourself again. And then we will be checking in again with you at the end of our conversation. All that being said, dear Deb, where would you put yourself?
I would say I'm a 2.5. And the reason I said that, because I was like, oh, I'm a 2, oh, I'm a 3, oh, I'm a 2. And then I went, oh, for goodness sake, Deborah, here we go again. Deborah's Pac-Man mind set goes and, chat. So I'm going to say a 2.5, purely just because as we went to hit go, I started coughing, and I'm like, where did that come from? I've literally sat here for over an hour talking to Moira, and now I have a flipping cough.
And you were fine for the most part. And very interesting that you say that, because I'm not coughing like you are. I'm putting myself at a 2. I'm feeling like there's a little bit of a hoarseness in my voice, a little bit of a scratchiness. And so usually that's indicating that something needs to be discovered or unfurled or figured out. And so I kind of think that's what we're going to do with this awesome topic that we've got.
Oh, today is a goodie.
It is a goodie. Yes. So we're talking about improve life with positive thinking. And I know Deb likes to think of that positive thinking thing in slightly different terms.
I hear that word positive, and my body has a physical reaction often when people say, oh, I just want to be positive all the time, or I need to be more positive, or this, positive. And I just go, oh yeah, but the opposite. I instantly go the opposite. I go, negative. Negative. So whenever someone says positive, I go, oh, negative. My brain rewires itself to go negative. And I literally say that to myself. But what I loved about today's topic is improve life with positive thinking, as it doesn't say improving life or improved life.
Right.
Like it's just improve. It's simple.
It. Yeah.
Bringing your word down. Yeah. Improve life with positive thinking. But if you've listened to us before, you do know I have a problem with that word positive. But there's nothing wrong with the word positive. My thing would be, it's just because we've had it ingrained in us for so long. And, I know when people, and I think it is an ingrained growing up thing, when people say they're sad or something, go, oh, just be more positive. Just be more positive with it. Right. And you hear that. And if you've just had something crap happen to you and someone goes, just be more positive.
Yeah, that's actually being
you're going to want to turn around and headbutt them. Not that I encourage headbutting.
But no, that's actually being disrespectful. That was the word I was trying to think.
Yes, actually, right? Yeah, not honoring. Yeah. I like that. Yeah. So yeah, that's my thing with the positive, and I would just reframe that word positive.
So for me, I wouldn't reframe the word positive, although I totally get what you're saying. But in that instant, I agree. I think that it's not a thing of saying, oh, all you have to do is this.
Don't you dare dismiss my feelings and what's going on.
If you're feeling in a funk, you're in a funk. And actually that's what we're doing with that, rating ourselves on the scale of 0 to 10. If you're at a 10, I'm not going to turn around and say to you, all you need to be more positive.
Tell you what, I'd reach through the podcast and headbutt you there and then.
You would.
Not that I encourage headbutting.
And I would deserve that. But the thing is, to me, is we live in polarity. So positive and negative are actually just two ends of one polarity. And in order to know negative, we must know positive. But in order to know positive, we must know negative. And then we get to choose and slide back and forth. Like really, being in neutrality is actually really, really healthy. But even in neutrality, that you have the propensity to be in that funk.
To go left or right.
Exactly. And it's to me, that's kind of a navigational tool in life.
And I think the thing is to go, be okay. I don't really like the word be okay. Be okay. Be okay with not being okay. But be okay that you are positive. Be okay that you're having a negative experience. Be okay that you're having a neutral experience. Like it's like, or accept it. I don't know what being okay is the word.
I was going to say accepting it. See, to me, accepting doesn't mean I'm keeping it, but it means this is where I'm at right now.
Acknowledging it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just actually looked up the word positive in the dictionary. Well, in the online dictionary. Remember back in the days we had the dictionary and you'd have to get your finger and you'd have to.
Yeah.
And those papers were so thin, and sometimes if you got really angry, you'd ruin the paper and your mum would clip your ears, or is that just me? They were just thin. They were thin paper.
Were thin paper, yes.
So probably had to get so many words on there. But it actually, the word positive says constructive, optimistic, or confident. And I was like, okay,
I like those.
Positive. Yeah, constructive is actually positive. And I was like, I would not have thought constructive would be labeled positive. I just thought constructive would have been ploughing ahead. Like, we're constructive, we're getting stuff done.
Well, think about the opposite end of constructive is destructive.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It's definitely.
so it's definitely positive.
Yeah, consisting in or characterized by the presence rather than the absence of distinguishing features. I don't really get that one. Consisting in or characterizing by the presence rather than the absence of distinguishing features.
Oh, so it's like saying my cup is full. Look at what I get to do. Look at what I have, as opposed to I don't have this, or look at what.
Oh, okay,
right?
that's it. Okay, that makes and that's absolutely look at what I have rather than what I don't have.
Yeah.
And that's when people say, oh, just be more positive. It's actually look what you do have over what you don't have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I get that.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. Okay, so then I'm accepting the word positive in this podcast today. Holy gamoly.
Look at what just happened.
Hand on the wall. That's
the wall's
first
just
time
moved.
ever. Yeah, I think that's the first time I've ever done that. Accepted the word positive. Anyway, people are like, okay, Deborah, we're so pleased you've had a breakthrough. Now let's improve life with positive thinking. My problem with positive thinking, and I'm just going to go there, is the people who think I can think, and it's a manifesting, and it's from the Secret. And I remember just think positive. The check's going to come in the mail. The check's going to come in the mail. The check's going to come in the mail. Oh, I'm getting a check for $1 million. Like you've never even made $100, let alone now you want a check in the mail for $1 million. And I'm positive. And every day you go to the mailbox and you get let down.
Right.
So that's where my 2 words of positive thinking, I go back to that and I think, of course you're going to get let down.
Well, of course.
Duh. Yeah, duh. and that's that improved life of positive thinking. That's my emotional charge around that word positive thinking.
Right. And I get that. And I actually also have quite the charge around what the movie The Secret did for people thinking about manifestation. Well, all I have to do is think these powerful thoughts, or like you said, all I have to do is visualize this check, and then it doesn't come, and it doesn't come, and it doesn't come. What, to me, around that positive thinking can only come from what you believe to be possible.
Yeah.
So like you just said, if you're saying, okay, I want to manifest $1 million, and yet up until that point, all you'd done was, a couple hundred here, a couple thousand there, then maybe you've got a mindset that this is all that you can do. And maybe you can do a stretch goal, but not an outlandish one, and then think, how come I didn't do it? I was doing all these positive affirmations and visualizations.
I was doing everything right. I was doing my end. Yeah. And well, then you just get let down because you're not getting your check, and then you get more frustrated. So your level of trust breaks down.
Yeah.
But I like there what you believe to be possible, and what you believe could be different to your partner, could be different to your family member, could be different to your boss, your children, or anything. So it's actually what you believe to be possible. And I
double underline on that you.
The you is you, not what other people tell you to believe.
And that's something that's really important. I'm glad you brought that into our conversation about this, because what you believe, if you know that your partner or people around you don't believe that,
then hard.
Don't talk to them about it. Because here's the thing is, if you do, like, let's say you go and talk to somebody who doesn't believe that it's possible to, I don't know, make $1 million, and yet you truly do, and you're really into that flow. If you go and talk to the person that doesn't believe that, they'll start planting all these seeds of doubt, and like, oh, don't be so silly, that's never going to happen, and
who do you think you are?
Yeah, that one too.
Who do you think you are? You're just a little girl from so and so. What makes you think that? Like, Moira, you're just a little girl from Scotland who moved to wherever you are, whoever you are. Who do you think you are? And you're like, whoa, back up, buddy. I'm not just a little girl from Scotland. Actually,
I'm a very big girl, but
incredibly tall, and probably taller than most people, but
see, the thing is, you have to take responsibility for that, because it's actually you that created that.
Yep.
You undermined your own belief, or your own mindset in that. And so that's what I'm saying. It's when you know that, don't go around thinking it's your agenda to prove it to somebody that you know doesn't think that way.
The word intent came in.
Mm-hmm.
So if you put, and I'm just going to give an example for a child, if your child has fallen over and you're like a plaster, or band-aid in your country, probably band-aid, is going to go
plasters in Scotland too.
Oh yeah, Scotland's similar to New Zealand. Yeah, a band-aid. If you're going to put a band-aid on, and you know it's not going to work, but it makes the child feel better.
Yeah.
So you have intent that this band-aid is going to work.
Yep.
The child has the intent that the band-aid is going to work. Guess what? The band-aid works. And that's what you believe to be possible. It's your intent. And it has to be your intent, not anyone else's. And I think that if that makes sense, that whole band-aid intent, it has to be intent.
It has to be intent. And that's a beautiful example, because that's like the placebo effect.
Yeah.
So if I take this remedy and I am 100% sure of the intent that it's going to heal me, even if it's just a sugar pill, it's still going to heal me.
Absolutely. And so that's a level of to improve your life with positive thinking. And I'm going to say that's positive because intent is, well, if we put intent as positive, not if I'm going to put this band-aid on you, it's going to hurt you. There's a different intent there. There's still intent, but let's just spin it to a nicer side of intent.
Yes.
Use that band-aid.
Yes.
But that's an improved life with positive thinking. Truly. Because you have that intent. You have that, and that's not positive or negative. That's not centered. It's just my intent. It's just a word, intent. My intent is this lolly is going to work, or this band-aid's going to work.
So maybe it's going to be, my intent is this is going to support or
start the process, or
start the process, or be filled with loving kindness, or help, support. Right.
I just forgot that I thought I'd started the time. I did. God, phew. I just had a mental block then. I went, panic spell. Intent. I did have my intent then. And I think that just shifts it. So when we go to improve life, we're not saying your life is crap.
No.
We're not saying your life is rubbish and let's get you out of that funk or whatever it is. We're just saying wherever you are, whether you're a 10 or an 8 or a 7, let's bring you close to the 0. Let's bring you close to the 0. You know, and I know Moira talked about your PEMS, but let's bring you close to the 0. So that's that improved life is level up.
Yeah. Evolve.
It doesn't mean you have to be. In fact, I talked to someone at the weekend, one of the football boys, and he said, I only want to talk to you when I'm in a real state. I'm like, what? And I was literally like, what? What do you mean you only want to talk to me when you're in a real state? I said, that's horrible for me. Let's get you when you're in your peak and let's bring you higher. Let's get you even better than you are now. And he's like, do you do that? He's so sweet. He's so sweet. And I'm like, yeah, let's get you higher than you are now while you're at that. If you're riding that high vibration, let's not wait till you're a 10.
And you're slumped.
If you're a 1, let's work together now. Let's bring that level up. And he was just like, oh, I didn't know that you could do that. Why wait till you're starving before you eat?
Well, that's just it. Why wait to work on improvement or up leveling when you're suffering and you're chaotic and you're worried and you're wondering, oh my God, what do I do? As opposed to when you're in flow and you're feeling good, then you can start saying, what are the other ingredients? What else can I take on or let go of? Right?
Yeah.
Because this is a real big feeling of evolution in this. And let's face it, that's what this life is all about.
So it doesn't matter where you are. So when we say improve life, it's, if you are a 8 in your energy sphere right now, let's bring you up to that 0. But even if you just move to a 7.5, that's still bringing you up, but you don't have to be a 10 to start looking at things, no matter what, whether you're a 0, even if you're a 0, what can I do to maintain this? Or what can I do to take on the next challenge that's going to push me through this barrier?
So something that just occurred to me as you were saying that is that if you wait until you're a 10 to do something about,
listen to me,
then there's going to be a lot more effort and attention needed to just even bring you to neutral, like 5 in the middle.
Well, think of it as a push bike. You get on a push bike, and you're a 10, and you're starting from fresh, and you've got to get on the bike. You've got to balance yourself on the bike. You've got to put your pedals on the bike. Is the wind factor okay? Do you have your helmet on? Like all the aspects of getting on that, and I'm saying push bike, and then you've got to use all your energy to move your legs around.
Exactly.
And move.
But then you're in motion.
Yes.
Then when you're in motion, you could go, oh, I can pedal a little bit stronger, go a bit further.
Oh, I've got wind behind me.
Yeah, there's some momentum going here.
Yeah, wind.
Right, so it's to keep that momentum going, and then even that can be used as like your feedback system. How am I feeling about this? Do I feel like I'm heading in the right direction? And that's actually another really interesting point too, is that awareness of, am I heading in the right direction, is way easier to access that when you're in motion.
Oh, well, I remember them saying, just take any job. Yeah. And when you're in a job, you can start applying, like just take any temp job, because you're more likely to get a job because you're in a job. And I was like, this is rubbish. But when I was younger, I was like, that's just crock of, whatever. But when you're in a job, when you're working, you give out different energy. Absolutely, you look different. Your shoulders are back differently. Your verbal's different. You just have a different vibe about you. And people are more likely to attach themselves to that vibe than someone on the couch going, I'm never going to get a job. That's right. No one will want me. I can't, I'm not going to do this. People are more likely to attach to that higher vibration. What
you're reminding me of, and I know we've talked about this before in previous episodes, is that difference between inspiration and desperation. So you see, so you see, like if a person needs a job and there's a desperation of, if I don't have a job, I can't pay the rent, and can't pay the bills, and I can't put food on the table. There's a desperation there that actually pushes away opportunity. Whereas if you just take something on, doesn't matter what it is, and then continue applying for the inspired jobs or positions or opportunities, then they flow more, because you're not sitting in that desperation mode anymore.
Yeah. And even though we say people attract to that, also yourself, like you go to bed differently.
Yeah, you do.
You go to bed differently. The food you eat is different. You're less likely to, the more inspired you are, the less likely you're going to jump into your addictions. Yep. And when I say addictions, it could be work, it could be running, it could be food,
overeating,
it could be
chocolate.
Yeah, anything, drugs, alcohol, any of those things. Too much water, not enough water, whatever. Exercise, no exercise, all those things is the addiction. But you're less likely to jump into crazy train addiction when you are inspired. You're more likely to do that when you're desperate.
A quick wee message before we get back to this episode. You can get access to a special gift Moira and Debz have put together for you. Go to deliciouslymotivatedmindset.com/gift. When you sign up, you'll receive instant access to an inner peace kit and the 30 Days of Wisdom program, both of which is intended to help you feel deliciously motivated right away. Go to deliciouslymotivatedmindset.com/gift.
And that's really what the vibe is of what we're talking about today: improve life with positive thinking. or inspired thinking, or what is your inspiration? But also understanding that all of us are wired to feel safe and secure.
Yeah.
Right. And so if our base needs aren't being met, there is going to be a sense of desperation if you don't just say, okay, this is what I'm going to do. Doesn't mean I'm keeping it, doesn't mean I'm staying here. But this is how I can relax into choosing the best thing.
And with that, there's two words that go with that, and that's called social influence. And it's be aware of your social influence, your social circle around you, because if you are hanging with desperate, and I'm going to say if you're hanging with desperate people, if you're hanging with tens,
right, yes,
you're going to attract more tens, and you're going to stay in the 10. But if you're hanging with the ones, that makes sense. If you're hanging with the ones, you're more likely to put on the one jumper than the 10 jumper.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying walk away from anybody when they're a 10. Well, unless you need to. But I'm not, done with you. Thank you. I've been with you 27 years and you're hitting a 10 today. No, I'm out of here. Bye. I'm like, what? I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying be aware of who you have around you and who you're listening to. And social media can play social media and media, even media. What is it? Mainstream. I don't know. Someone said something and I went, what's that? It was mainstream media or SMM. I don't know. Okay. Anyway, TV, whatever.
Yeah.
Be aware of what you're watching and what you're listening to, because that plays an incredibly large role on what happens around you. You listen to people who are negative, you're going to attach to negative thinking. You're going to start worrying and get yourself into that spiral. And then you're going to forget step number 1, which is, what do you believe is possible?
Right.
Because then you're going to start going.
So important, because you don't want to be inheriting. And that's true. That's why it's so important to kind of check in with the vibe and energy of the people that you are allowing to stay in your circle and close to you. And maybe sometimes we need to have different levels of circles. You know, like you're not going, like you just said, you're not going to say, oh, you're always in a 10, so I can't be around you. Well, I'm not going to do that to everybody, but you can maybe put them in a further out circle so that your interaction with them isn't like a large percentage, right?
Yeah.
But so you're not saying I'm running out on it, but I'm also then very aware of, I need to have uplifting people who have the vibe of trusting themselves and trusting that all is well, and that a guiding principle for me in my life is that no matter what kind of situation I'm in, I always have the capacity to deal with it. Well, I want to have
that's
people,
a nice one.
I know.
That's really nice.
Yeah. But then I want people that have that kind of mindset around me too, rather than people who think, oh no, there's, that's it. This terrible situation happened to me, and it's a sentence, or it's the spinning down the drain type of analogy.
You go into that fear. Oh, I can't do that because my mother divorced my father, and because of that now, she can't afford bread. You're like, no, your mother divorced your father because he was this and she wanted this, and then she spent all the money on this. So no, it's not your mother-father scenario thing here. Right. Look at the bigger picture, people. Look at the bigger picture. But we do attract to other people's stories in us, and that can put us right out of our thinking.
Yeah, out of alignment with what is the truth of your own thinking.
Yes, out of alignment.
Yeah. So that's a really important part, is that sometimes, if we are surrounded ourselves with people that are always chattering and always sharing different stories, and we're not taking enough time to just kind of retreat a little bit and be in your own space to kind of say, hey, wait a minute, I think I need to do some weeding of patterns. Is this mine? Am I in alignment with my own truth? Or have I inherited something or taken something on, or sold myself short somehow?
Yeah, sold myself short. Yeah. I think one of the tips I would love to share about how to improve life with positive thinking is say no. And people are like, but that's not positive. It's
It is. Oh,
and I'm
it
like,
is.
oh, it is. Oh, it is. And say no often.
Mhm.
Even just practice saying no. No, no,
No.
no, no, no. But this is one that just can screw you over. But it can spiral you out of control because we go, oh, I can't, but you've been to my house the last 3 times and you've helped clean it. So when you've asked me to help clean your house, I have to say yes. No,
Right. No, you
because
don't.
you have to then leave work and you don't get paid for work, and then you've got to put someone else the kids in care and blah, whatever story comes up. And then you're like, no, just say no. No. And no is a temporary thing. And no is a temporary thing. It could mean yes down the track.
Yep.
It could mean
no doesn't mean never.
But right now, as I say this at say 8:31 a.m., which it's not, just for the record, I'm saying no. That's no now. Now, 2 minutes later, I may say yes. Now, I'm going to do something controversial. I'm saying, boys, that does not mean no means yes later. And I'm just throwing that one out there because you know what I mean when we say no. We've all been brought up with that.
Yeah.
No doesn't mean yes later on. I'm talking about, when I say boys, no right now is okay. Because at 8:31, it's a no, I can't do that.
No.
At 8:33, it might be a yes. Or 4 days later, it might be yes. But right here, right now, I have to say no because I have too many other things on my checklist that have to be done, which are priority over this. And we get so wrapped up in saying no that we think we're going to offend people. I would rather you offend me if that's what I think, if you feel it's that, and say no, I can't, than me go, well, are you coming? Are you replying? Are you getting here? Are you going to do the job? I would rather you say no, that doesn't work. So I'm cut, and when I say cut, I'm cut free from that tie with you. I can then find someone else to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Because
not an obligation. It's just to get out of the shoulds or the obligations or the and to also know, I think it's about boundaries and self-awareness. You know, what is my energy right now? Oh, I don't have enough energy to do that for you, and still get all these other things that are on my list that are very important.
Yeah.
So I love that you said that part of positive thinking is maybe we could start thinking that can you just start giving yourself permission to positively say no?
Yeah.
Right.
I do remember I remember meeting a woman on New Year's Eve when we were sitting there, and she said something, and she said, you keep saying no. I'm like, I don't want to do it. And she's like, yeah, but you just say it with certainty. And then someone else asked you, not the same person kept asking me because I was very firm on my no. And I was like, don't you do that? She's like, I don't think I've ever said no. And I was like, what do you mean you've never said no? Here's this woman in her 60s. I'm like, come on, love, you must have said no. And she was like, well, and so literally people go, would you like some bread? No, thank you. And she'd look at me and she'd go, but I wanted it. And I'm like, well, then don't say no. But she was literally practicing no with certainty. No. And she was like, this is really easy. And I'm like, it is easy. You're not offending anyone. If you said, if I ask Moira to do something and Moira goes, no, that doesn't sit in alignment with me. Okay, I'm not going to shoot down to a 10. I might go to an 8 and go, BITCH. Moira, thanks very much. But I'm then going to go, wow, Moira owned that. She can't do it. Okay.
That means there's somebody else more ideal for it, right?
Absolutely. And I think that goes back to the inspiration, desperation. It's like, but I thought Moira would do it. Moira's my friend.
Right. That's,
you know,
and then that's coming in desperation, but an agenda too. Because if you say
boundaries,
you're my friend, then you're going to do it.
Yeah, there's a whole lot behind that. And that's a difficult positive thinking, because that positive thinking is one that you've got to, for every negative, you've got to do 20 positives.
But there's such an agenda in there. And I think that doesn't belong in this. Right? It's so positive thinking and in alignment with your core beliefs and your own truth. Then if you're operating from there, somebody saying no to you is not going to set you off kilter. You're just going to go, oh,
that's me. No,
good for you, good for you. And maybe it means, oh, I'll just go do it myself, or, oh, there must be somebody better that I haven't thought of yet.
Mm. Yeah. I think one of the tips, I love that. I just thinking one of the tips I would love to share about to improve your life, positive thinking, is gratitude.
Definitely.
And gratitude to be grateful for what you've said, for what you haven't said. Be grateful for what you've done, for what you haven't done. Be grateful for what other people have said and haven't said. Be grateful for what they've done and what they haven't done. Because the more grateful you are, and grateful is different to positive, I think. Grateful has a real, I was just going to say, you know, when you light the fire and it feels warm inside because I'm hanging out for my fire to be done. You know, you feel so fulfilled inside, and it just warms your whole body. That's gratitude.
Yep.
Over positive by putting the heat pump on. You know?
But also to think, circle back to you reading out the definition of positive. There is a flavor of gratitude in that definition, in that it's looking at what you have as opposed to what's lacking.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
To me, gratitude definitely is. It's like, oh, look at this wonderful warmth I have. And of course, there's levels of it. There's heat pump warmth, and then there's fireplace warmth.
I'm gagging for the fireplace warmth.
But you're still appreciative of all sources of warmth.
Oh, totally.
Right.
And because what I would say now to somebody who was in a pickle, I possibly wouldn't say what I would have said 5 years ago or 10 years ago or 15 years ago. I'd say it differently. It's like bringing up my daughter.
Yeah.
You know, if I had a daughter now at my age, I would possibly bring her up. I know I would bring her up differently to how I brought her up back then. I would do things differently. I have different money now. I have different mindsets.
And different wisdom too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But there's nothing wrong with the way I brought my daughter up.
Well,
I could ask a few of the family members and they might think differently, but
everybody has an opinion and they can keep it themselves.
Yeah, they can hold on to that one.
Yeah.
But that's it. So I'm grateful to the way I did that life then. And I'm grateful to the way I did it, and grateful to the way I didn't do it.
Yeah.
And that's because if you're holding on to, I should have done this, ought have done this, that past, you're not living in the present.
No.
And that past is very heavy and thick fog and yuck, and it just keeps following and following and following and getting bigger and bigger. So I think gratitude's a real big one.
Definitely.
About that. Oh my gosh, I've just realized our time. Oh my god, what happened? What happened there? What? Okay, so I have 5 tips, but Moira, let's give me one of your tips, because I think I've just talked this whole way through here. What's a tip you've got that we haven't talked about?
Oh, I think we've covered a lot of them. I think one of them is wanted to circle back to what you were saying about when we are talking about positive thinking, we are not using that as a way to just dust off what somebody's experiencing.
Oh, yeah.
And really, really important to I think I work with a number of people who have cancer, and you cannot tell somebody who's just had a diagnosis or just had a certain result, oh, you just have to be positive. Because
I would go from 0 to 100. I would go from 0 beyond 10.
and that's the thing, and that's why I'm bringing that kind of conversation into here, is that has to be allowed. So no amount of stick to positive thinking thing in there. That's it. And I did say it at the beginning of our conversation, is don't use it as a way of being disrespectful of what somebody is experiencing. Actually, if you think about it, that doesn't improve life when we're doing it that way.
I really love that, because not to dust off the experiences is sit and feel it.
Yeah. Sit and feel it, and be willing to be uncomfortable sometimes if somebody needs to cry or to
and that's that holding
something.
Energy, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's really important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let me give you the tips that I've pulled up because I can't believe the time's just flown.
That's when we know we're positive talking and thinking and having fun.
That's the one. That's the one. And it's definitely today didn't go anywhere near what I thought it was going to go down. Just saying, surprise. So there's my intent. So number 1, so the tips to improve life of positive thinking, I have what you believe to be possible.
Yeah.
And I've got intent is the word.
Yeah.
And Moira mentioned the words when you're out of alignment for our truth.
Right. Because I think, and so with that part, the what you believe, with our intent, I think it's really, really important to have some regular check-ins. Like, every few days, once a week, whatever works for you, but just check in. Yeah. Very important.
I love that.
Great tip.
And that was around the plaster tip I gave people as well, just to be aware of that when you're putting that plaster on. That's intent.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2 is why wait to up level when suffering.
Yes.
Move now.
Let's do it now.
Why wait to be a 10 before you reach out or just go, what can I do? Listen to a podcast, whatever. Why wait when you're a 10? Let's hit it when you're a 3, 2, 1, 0. Let's move now.
Makes it flow easier because you're in momentum when you've got the momentum going. Absolutely.
Yeah. Number 3, as I wrote, people attract to inspiration over desperation.
Yes. Yeah. And we talked a lot about that, about when you're in desperation mode, you keep opportunity away from you.
You repel it.
Yes.
You repel. Yes. Yeah. So, and that's that social influence around you. Mm-hmm. Number 4, my favorite. No.
Say no.
Say it often. And with the no, remember, obligation is yuck. There's my words, obligation. Obligation is yuck. And be aware of your boundaries.
Yes, definitely.
But so basically number 4 tip is no.
Just that's it.
No.
No thanks.
No. Yeah. No. Number 5, I'm going to see how often I can say it today. Number 5 is gratitude.
Yep.
And a gratitude is that deep warmth, that be grateful for what you have and haven't done. Be grateful for what you say and don't say.
Yep. Appreciating everything.
Yeah. And number 6 is I've got not to dust off experiences.
Yeah.
So no avoiding.
Yeah, definitely.
No avoiding. Yeah. So sit, feel it's okay, and don't respect yours or other people's experiences about, just be positive. Find the blessings in that, just be grateful this happened to you. Be grateful you've got cancer. And
so I think that brings up for me is to just keep in check if you have an agenda of you don't want that person to be feeling that. It's like, no, sometimes we just need to allow that person to have that reality or that level of awareness. So we can sometimes just say that, all you have to do is think positive, but we've got an agenda that says it's not good to have anger or be in desperation or complain or be angry, right? It's like, no, it's still, no.
Yeah, I heard that. I thought, wonder if Moira knows she meant no, in her accent, no.
Super important to, and in essence, when you really take that apart, you are still being of positive thinking because you're positively holding space and understanding that everybody's doing the best they can with what they've got and what's going on.
Yeah.
Right.
So they were our 6 tips. I would love someone to put our 7th tip in our Facebook page. That would be absolutely awesome. Let us know what your 7th tip is that we've talked about that I have missed off the list. And this is not a test, just for the record. It's just because I'm like, usually I do 7. I haven't got 7. So I'm asking you to come to the party. Fill in the blanks.
Listen to the episode again and pick out that golden nugget that jumps out for you.
That we missed. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. And what I would love to see is more than one person do it, because we're going to see a variety of people who have gone, what about that? Or even one that you've got, even one that they've got themselves.
Definitely.
That would be amazing. Gosh, so we're going to wrap up today. Moira, what number were you?
I was a 2. You were a 2.5 and I was a 2.
Yep. So we did our numbers at the start. You did your numbers at the middle check-in, and now we're just doing a check-in where you are again, and remembering that this is you, not comparing to anyone else, wherever you are. So Moira, you were a 2. How are you checking into where you are now?
I'm going to say I'm a 0.5. I'm feeling really pieced out and positive, but I still have a little bit of that scratchiness. So I think there's maybe something in one of these tips that I need to go and implement or contemplate a little bit more.
I'm definitely looking at my tips going, oh, what's in there? Because I still have a little niggle. So I'm going from a 2.5 to a 0.5 because I still feel there's a in there.
Yeah.
I just don't know what it is. And I'm reading over the things, and it's actually not on my piece of paper because I can't see anything jumping out at me. So
it must be that missing one that we're expecting our listeners.
Yeah, so we're waiting on you to clear our throat, please, people, to give us that number 7.
Love it.
So thank you, everybody, for joining our Deliciously Motivated Mindset. If you liked our podcast, or if you loved our podcast, if you freaking loved it, if you didn't love it, so the next step we would love you to do is share it.
Yeah.
Bring people into our group, get people to share the knowledge that you had, pass this on verbally, social media wise.
Definitely.
Just share it, start talking about it, and let's get some generating conversation about improve life with positive thinking.
Definitely.
And even when I say positive thinking, there was a little swallow in my throat, but I'm okay. But that is the next step for us is share this. That would be amazing. And let us know the number 7.
Tip number 7. And also let us know where you were at the beginning and where you are now as we wrap this conversation up.
Yes.
Number wise, 0 to 10.
Yes. Fabulous. Well, I look forward to talking to you, everybody, again next week. Thank you very much. That is Debz and Moira signing off from our Deliciously Motivated Mindset Conversation podcast.
Awesome.
Thanks, everybody. See you next time.
Thanks, Deb. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.